So hey guys, and welcome back to the channel, and we're just up near Ullswater in the Lake District today. So we're just actually at St Patrick's boat landing. It's right next to the water here. You've got a nice cafe in the background and some boat hire and things next to the lake. We're on the Triumph Tiger 850 Sport today, so we've still got that bike, and I thought we'd do a north to south run, and we'll head down from Ullswater now over Kirksten Pass, and then we're going to go down through Bonus and end up near the A590 near Newbury Bridge. So stick around, stay tuned, and we'll be right back. So welcome back to another ride, guys, and we're actually in the Lake District today. We're heading from north to south. So we've just gone up the motorway from Lancaster. I've been on the motorway about an hour, and basically just wanted to see what the Tiger 850 Sport was like on motorway journeys. So it is an adventure bike, and most people are going to be eating up the miles on this thing. Happy to say it was really comfortable. The screen on the high position really keeps the wind off you. I think if I was to have one gripe, it would be anything above, I would say 80, and you get some buzzing through the bars. On the ends of the bars, you've not really much of a bar end on there. I know you can get weighted ones, so I would imagine putting some weighted ones would help it. But let's face it, when are we doing above 80 and above speed limits anyway? So that's my only gripe, but anything under that, and you don't get any buzzing through the bars. Now, fuel economy, I was getting probably 65 miles to the gallon doing motorway speeds, and I filled up at Penrith when I came off the motorway, and I put 21 pounds worth of fuel into this tank. So the reserve light came on, and it clearly stated that I needed fuel, but it did tell me that I've got 55 miles left on reserve, so that's quite a hefty reserve it's got as well, I'm pleased to say. So yeah, motorway, really comfortable. Your legs are not cramped, there's no vibrations through the foot pegs and all. So yeah, an all-round really good tourer, I think. Okay, so on the journey, so we're just coming down now towards Ullswater, and then we're going to head down through the lakes. Weather today, it's a bit overcast. It started off actually nicer this morning, but I couldn't get out till this afternoon, so as long as the rain stays away, then I'm a happy chappy. Now, as you can see, if you watched the last video, I mentioned a new jacket. So the jacket that I'm wearing today is the RST Brixton. So this jacket is a textile jacket, but it's got like a waxed effect on it. So it actually looks like leather. It's got lots of padding all over. It's got sea level 1 protection, arm pads and shoulder pads. So I've not put the back protector in because I've got my Climb air vest underneath the jacket. One tip when you're ordering any RST jackets, and I found this with quite a lot, is to go a size up rather than you know, your chest size. I think the large is a 44-inch chest on the chart, and I would always go for an extra large, and also I go for a size up anyway because of the airbag vest I wear underneath. If I was to put the thermal liner back in, then it would be a little bit bulky, I think, and not enough space with the Climb airbag vest. So just to note, if you are ordering any RST jackets, I always go a size up, and they tend to fit perfectly. So one thing I like about the jacket as well is the sleeves are not too short, and they've got zips with a velcro on the wrist, and they go over my Merlin gloves really well. So yeah, really happy with the jacket. And wind protection as well, even though I've got you can see the vents, it's got 2 pockets here. They're actually not pockets, they're actual air vents. And then there's a big one across the back that I've got unzipped today. And these are actually providing a nice little bit of ventilation for the top part of the body section. And obviously the back is kind of a vent to let the heat out as well. So yeah, been really comfy. I think air temperature today is about 17 degrees. So it's not too warm but not too cold, but I think it would make a really nice winter jacket as well when I put the liner in as well. I can also note that coming up the motorway, obviously I went over the one section of motorway in the UK that's got the most side wind, which is near Shap, between the mountains there, and you've always got a huge wind coming from one side or the other, so much that you've got wind socks for the wagons and things. And it was blowing a gale today coming across there, but the Tiger handled it pretty well, and didn't get buffeted too much from the side wind, so that's a good point. So I noticed in the news today, and I actually put a link to it on my YouTube channel and a notification. Also, if you head over to our website and blog site, I've put a news bulletin up there that Maverick Vinales, and by the time you see this video, I think the news will be out anyway, but Yamaha have suspended the guy for improper use of the motorcycle and potentially damaging the engine, so I don't know what that's all about. He wasn't settled at Yamaha, and there's been a little bit of awkwardness between him and the team. I don't believe he's got a ride with them next year. I think he's moving teams. So if you follow the MotoGP, that's a bit of news that's just come out today. And also he won't be riding in the Austrian race next weekend, I don't believe. So if they've taken him out of one race, will they actually let him ride the rest of the season? Who knows? So we're just heading along the side of Ullswater Lake now, and I noticed the dashboard on the Tiger has just turned to black with the blue accents. You can actually change and convert that screen to green or red if you wanted to, but it's just because of the clouds it's made it darker. So got it set on auto, so it's flashed from white to black, which is what you would see at night. So that's how it looks, if you can see that. So this road will take us over Kirksten Pass, one of the famous passes up in the Lake District. So basically you'll follow Ullswater along the side of the lake. There's a really good cafe at St Patrick's boat landing, and that's a little further along, and you can pull up there. They've got a car park, and they do rent-a-boats and things like that. And also the cafe is really good. You can grab an ice cream there or some lunch or dinner, whichever time it is that you're passing. And I noticed the other day when I was up in Bowness and Ambleside, it was just too busy with it being middle of summer, and I came up here instead, actually, in the car with the family, and the route was less cluttered by traffic. So it's a good route and a good way of doing it, actually, if you come up the motorway to Penrith, and then basically you can come down and do it north to south, which is great. A few other bikes out just here. Now, if you watched the previous video on the Tiger, the first ride, the start of the video where I was giving the spec and things, the camera was a bit shaky. Couldn't work out what it was. Actually realised I hadn't put the Rocksteady, the stabilisation, on the camera at the time when I was filming, so do apologise for that. And also I noticed on the stick that the camera was on, connection was a little bit loose, and it was kind of rocking around a little bit, so that's why that happened. I did upload it rather than go and refilm it, so yeah, if that annoyed you, apologies. But the rest of the video was great, and I thoroughly enjoyed actually doing a bit of off-roading. So if you haven't seen that video, then I'll pop a link just above, and then you can head across, watch that as well on our channel. So it was only a small green lane, just a few miles, but it actually gave me a chance to get this bike over some rocky terrain. And while it doesn't pick out the descent and ascent on the trail, because it actually goes over a big hill, the bike really handled it well, and I was really impressed. Even with the 80/20 Anarchy tyres that are on this bike, I think it slipped once. Obviously I wasn't going fast, it's not my motorcycle, it belongs to Triumph, and the last thing I want to do is drop it. But yeah, I quite enjoyed it. Who knows, maybe I'll do a bit more off-roading in future. So the road to the right there towards Trout Back, that's an absolute cracking road, and that'll take you up to Trout Back and up back onto the main road that goes over towards Keswick. So I think coming south I could have carried on towards Keswick and come down that road and joined it here, but I didn't today, but that's another option. What I'll do is I'll put a link, the Scenic App link, down below in the description if you want to find the route where I went today. and on that link you can also go onto the Scenic app, or you can download the GPX file and then open it on your sat nav or any other type of app, whether it be Calimoto or any of the others that accept GPX files, and that's a good way. So also just along this road you've got another car park on the right and a walk up to some waterfalls, which is quite popular. It does get busy though in summer, and the car park, if you're in a car, is normally full, but I think if you're on a bike there's plenty of places you can park up and have a walk up to the waterfalls. Perhaps you're coming up here with your missus on the back, or another family member, and want to do some walking as well. And a little bit further down the road I'll actually show you a cracking pub that I always pass. Basically, when I was up here with the family the other day, I actually stopped off for a spot of lunch, and it was absolutely perfect. Brilliant place, so I'll highly recommend that when I get to it. Little car park here, and obviously a lot of canoeists and families out for the day, just on the water here. So somebody commented on the last video about selling a few bikes, and would they make this their only bike, do it all. I would say yeah, it's a do it all bike. I did it myself a few years ago, where I sold most of the bikes, and I kept a Yamaha Tracer, which was a similar style bike to this, although this actually beats it hands down. Yeah, that was my do-it-all bike, and I toured through France, Germany, Switzerland, Austria, and yeah, did a few other tours here and there in the UK with it, and it was a perfect bike. Really, an adventure bike is the bike that you could use daily, whether you were commuting, touring, or just going out for a Sunday blast. And also I was asked, is the brake horsepower on this bike enough? Well, it's an 888cc. Let me tell you, coming up the motorway, just cruising along at motorway speeds, slightly above, just to test the vibration on the bars, it was perfect. Happily have this as my only bike if I could. I think the only thing that really bugged me a little bit on the motorway, and you probably guess what it is, was the cruise control, or lack of it. I think if it was my bike and I was going to look at the Tiger, I would possibly go for the 900 GT, which obviously is more expensive, but you have cruise control and, you know, suspension that's more adjustable. But other than that, the bike's really well equipped, really well equipped. So I think if you are thinking of using it for touring and eating up the miles, then yeah, the 900 with the cruise control would be perfect. And I can kind of understand why they didn't put it on this bike. They're trying to make like an entry-level tourer or adventure bike. But one thing it is capable of is, you know, on or off-roading. It's got the best brakes in the world. Can't fault them at all. They're absolutely brilliant. So I'm just going to stop here at the St Patrick's boat landing, and I'll show you this. This is where the cafe is. So lovely place, and good food as well, guys. And then the other place that I mentioned for food is a lovely pub, and I'll show you that a little bit further down the road. So I mentioned the fuel before. I'd put £21 worth of fuel in, and that was from, I think, about 50 miles left in the tank, and now it's saying I've got 239 miles to the tank on the dash. So yeah, so it does a fair amount of miles. So if you are using this for adventure touring, then you've got a good 239 miles to a tank of fuel. In fact, you've got probably more, because I've done about 10 miles since I filled up, so you've probably got 240, 245 on a tank of fuel, which is brilliant. And as you can see, the screen has just switched back to daytime. Now we're out of the clouds a little bit. So we're just passing the White Lion on the left here. We've got a beer garden on the right hand side, just there over the road. But that's not the pub I mentioned and want to tell you about, and that's further up the road. And actually it's over Kirksten Pass and just down the other side before you get to Ambleside. So we're just coming up now to Kirksten Pass. We're going to head through these mountains. We're going to climb up the one in front, up this windy road, and then we're going to drop down the other side and then down onto Lake Windermere, which you'll see coming down the other side in the distance. Temperature's down to about 16 degrees, so it's getting cooler as we go up in the mountains. So this place is normally covered in snow in winter. A few sheep on the road just there. Just have to watch out for those. And also it's quite a road for motorcycle accidents and things. So if you are up this way, just take it easy, especially in summer, as all the tourists don't know the road. Best just to have a cruise over here and not go too daft. But yeah, lovely place, nearly up into the clouds. And there used to be a ski resort at the top of here, but I think over the last few years, with the weather not being snowy every winter and a little bit off, I don't know whether it's actually still open or not. Now, one thing's for sure on the Tiger 850 Sport, that the suspension, and while the front is non-adjustable, it's really plush ride, and it really soaks up the bumps. It's a pleasure to ride, especially with the 19-inch front wheel. Now, if you've ever ridden bikes with a 17-inch front wheel and you kind of get stuck in ruts in roads and it kind of unsettles the bike, the 19-inch just rides over all of those, and you don't really feel anything. And I've noticed that on other bikes that I've ridden with 19-inch front wheels, and while they say, oh, they don't turn in or dip into corners as easy, the actual bike is so flickable, you know, it feels really light. Certainly impressed me anyway. And the fueling on the throttle, like I mentioned in a previous video, is just perfect, just at low speeds. You know, I'm in third gear doing 20 miles an hour here, and loads of torque. Just open the throttle slightly and it just pulls away. Little waterfall coming down just there. Obviously the Lake District is the wettest place in England, has the most rainfall, I believe. Now just at the top here you've got a pub on the left and a car park opposite. Nice viewing place, you can actually see Lake Windermere from the top, looking down onto it. So yeah, the viewing point's just here. You can see Lake Windermere over in the distance just there, and this is the Kirksten Pass Inn. And then we're just going to drop down the other side. So this is the A592. As you can see, 50% of accidents involved motorcycles. Perfect for the off-road adventure of the Triumph Tiger here. Wonderful bike. It is only my opinion, so I'm not one of these guys that will go out and test a bike and ride it around a racetrack, because I think bikes, if they're road bikes, they should be tested on the road in real life conditions. So far I would be very happy, so that's my personal opinion with this motorcycle. and if there was something really horrible about it, I certainly would tell you and be honest with you. But so far there's nothing really that sticks out, other than maybe cruise control for motorways, but you can get that on the 900. And also the price point, you know, I think it's 993, I think it was 9,300 for a very refined adventure bike that's very capable. I think you're onto a winner, Triumph. I really do. If there's something you want me to go and test, as in a motorcycle, I know one of the guys the other week said a Royal Enfield Interceptor 650. Yeah, happy to do so. If I can get a hold of the bike, I'll go and test it, and that's actually coming up on the channel next Wednesday, the review on that bike. So yeah, don't forget to drop a comment down below, give us a like if you like the videos, and please subscribe to the channel. It all helps, and if you want notifications, ding that bell for notifications of any videos that pop up. So we're just coming to the Queen's Head just here, and this is the pub that I mentioned. Yeah, so the Queen's Head, you've got the car park just here, and then you've got the pub just on the corner here. Lots of tables and chairs outside, really great food, warm welcome, and yeah, it looks like they've got some accommodation as well. So Queen's Head Hotel and Fab Pub. I'll put a link as well to their website just in the description below, because I did think it was a good place and it's worthwhile a stop if you're up this way. Now as you follow the road down towards Lake Windermere, you'll come to a junction a little bit further down the road from here, and you can either go across the roundabout, which will then take you down into Bonus Town and by the lake, or you can actually turn left, which will take you a few miles up the road to Windermere Town itself, that is not by the lake. So Bonus is by the lake, Ambleside is by the lake, but Windermere Town is not next to the lake, if anybody was wondering. Even though it's called Lake Windermere, Windermere Town is not on the shore. Near there, but not quite. So the clouds are breaking up a bit, becoming a little brighter as we drop down off the mountain and through Kirksten Pass. And we're just coming down to the roundabout just here. You can go right also if you want to go to Ambleside, and that's about 6-7 miles down the road, but we're going to go straight across. Head down, I'll actually ride past the Glebe in Bonus, and I'll show you where I normally pull up on the bike. There's a little cafe there and an ice cream shop next to the lake with a few boats, so I'll show you that as well. If you're a subscriber to the channel, you've probably seen there before, but I'll just pop down just now, and also it'll be interesting to see how busy it is with it being August and height of summer, just to give you an indication. Obviously if you're on a bike, the good thing is you can filter, so you're not stuck in traffic too much, but if you are in a car and up this way in summer, it's just a nightmare. Just got to be careful at that junction, that little mini roundabout, lots of accidents there. Oof, steaming up again, must be breathing too hard. Now there'll be quite a bit of traffic going down into Bonus just here. Didn't realise that car was going to pull out then, should have waited. Don't be too impatient, Nick. Traffic's not so bad after all. Mind you, it is around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so most folk are on the way home or have gone home by now. And also it's been a bit overcast today, so not too hot, and it's midweek as well, so the weekends are the busiest. Very impressed with the RST jacket though. I've not worn it yet on the bike. Had it about a week. Just impressed with the build quality of the jacket as well. Also it's one of those motorcycle jackets that, as casually, if you were going out, you know, to the pub or to have dinner or anything, just just a casual everyday jacket. It's good for that as well. Kind of blends both. So if you are heading to Bonus and you want a parking space or anything, there is a car park on the right just up here, just after the Gulf garage. I'm not sure if they have dedicated bike parking in there, but I know in height of summer it's difficult to get a parking space. But I'll show you down by the glebe, plenty of spaces where you can pull your bike. But there is a good fish and chip shop just along here. So if you are down this way and it's feed time, I'll show you where that is, just here, just on the right hand side, just after the car park entrance there. And then you got Seafarers Chippy, not yet open. I think it's open about 5 o'clock, so just a little early. But you got plenty of pubs left and right. The Albert, you got a few cafes and things dotted about in town. Tesco Express, Costa Coffee. Another chippy on the left just here, Vinegar Jones, it's also a good one. And then you got a little pizzeria just on your left just here. And then we're just going to drop down by the lake. You can see it just in front of us. So still very busy, late afternoon. A few boats coming in. They do boat trips from here down to Lakeside or up to Ambleside. And again, you can hire boats from here over by the building just over there in the distance. You can hire motorboats, or you can hire little rowing boats, and also motorboats just here on my right. Now I remember last year when we were in total lockdown, I think it was the first lockdown, and I came up here and I didn't see one person, not one. It was at a time where it was kind of not fully locked down, but there was just no tourists whatsoever. And I think it was about 9 o'clock in the morning, so obviously less people around. And I got my drone up, and there wasn't one person, not one person did I see, which was so weird because it was summer, and as you can see, it's packed. But yeah, just a total shocker. So where those bikes are there, you can park there. And also there's motorcycle parking bays just here on the left, where that gold wing is. But where I like to park is just here by the old Pump House Cafe. You just turn right just there. And then if you go down just where the boats are, you can literally park up there. No one says anything. And it's right next to the water. So lovely spot. Grab some chips, bring them down near the water there. And then if you like your boats, there's a little marina just on the right hand side, just here behind these buildings. And a couple of boat shops just ahead. You've got the ship inn just there as well. Also eating there, it's quite good for pub food. Ice cream vans. Car park opposite as well for cars. And here's Aquatic, the boat sales place for the marina. And then what we're going to do, we're just going to head up to the top of this road, do a right, and that will take us down on the east side of Lake Windermere, heading down towards Newbury Bridge. So we'll finish the ride off down there, and I'll show you a couple of big houses next to the lake as we get down. Now if you ever want to get from the east side to the west side, you've got the car ferry just down on the right hand side, just down that road there. And I think it's about £2 I think for a motorcycle. Might be wrong on that. It's a while since I've been across the car ferry. And then yeah, we'll just keep heading down this road about 8-9 miles to Newbury Bridge. And then you've got some really nice multi-million-pound houses on the right hand side. Actually a lot of them holiday homes, believe it or not. And they've got nice gardens that go down to the lake, and a lot of them have got their own boat houses and things. You can see some of these big houses just here on the right. Absolutely mega mansions. Rich and famous. Well, let's see. 90 million on the lottery, I think it is, on Friday night. Fingers crossed. Okay, so it's mainly a twisty road that goes down by the side of the lake just here, and in and out of the trees. So what I'll do is we'll sign the video off there, guys. It's been an absolute epic ride. It's nice to do it north to south instead of south to north and then do a loop. And it was nice to get the bike on the motorway, like I say, and just check it out, really, see what it performs like on a long motorway stretch. But yeah, very pleased with it. Thanks again to Triumph for loaning me this bike. It's been an eye-opener, and if you're thinking of getting one, recommend get down to a dealer and test ride one. We will be having one more video coming out on this bike, which will give you my final thoughts and likes and dislikes, just to sign off before it goes back to Triumph. So yeah, thanks again for watching the videos, guys, and if you're not a subscriber, like I say, it all helps the channel. Subscribe and ding that bell. And if you are a current subscriber and you follow the channel, and again, appreciate it, thanks very much. And I'll catch you on another one. Okay, cheers guys, bye.